defense gave up some big plays, but the stats, well, looked a little close except for the scoreboard, and that's the one that counts, and the real difference, their ability to run the ball and our inability to run the ball. So that's the questions.
Obviously, you just talked about plays in the scoring zone. Basically, just what did you feel like went wrong there? Obviously, you started with the run game not being good, but
Well,
what
again,
didn't
they
work well?
defended well, so when we tried to do some things in the running game, couldn't punch it in. Passing game, a little tough out there. We did make some plays throwing as the game went long, but still, just some competitive plays, throwing some competitive balls, we don't come down with it. Their players do, so their players make the plays. So the inability to run the ball, and when you're really good and really good on offense, when the zones get tight and the weather gets bad, you got a little bit of running game. And the games we played well, we've ran it, and we played pretty good run defense. The games that we struggled, we haven't had the run game, so wasn't there today. And credit to Ohio State getting off blocks and having proper leverage and tackling us, making us throw the ball in a tough sled and throw it.
Go ahead.
You mentioned the weather conditions, Coach. How much did that affect the way you guys played the game?
I don't know if it affected. That's a part of, and we can spread it out, but they do too. And their ability to run the ball, line of scrimmage play. This time of year, you're going to get those kind of days, and you got to be tough enough and strong enough at the line of scrimmage, no matter what your attack is, and where we're at right now, we're not there. So it affects some, but at the same time, going in, you're going to have some of that. So again, when you're sitting there well into I don't think we cracked 100 yards rushing. I'm sure they were probably 300. And so bottom line, that's the format there. It's going to be tough to win games. And there's a lot of teams that do what we do in the spread, actually throw it very, very well. The teams that are really good are still running for 250, 300. We haven't been able to do that against good teams. That's a credit to their defense and shows where our weaknesses are as we're still trying to grow and get where we need to be.
Obviously, it's tough to read this from the sideline, at first glance, basically. But in terms of the run game, do you feel like it's blocking? Do you feel like it's the O-line that's not getting you holes? Is it the back's not hitting them, or just what's standing out to you about what's not working?
Again, really good defenses can cheat the box.
Mm-hmm.
So they're, the difference of their linebackers and their safety players showing up sometimes where our guys don't. So sometimes you can have it all blocked, but then when there's an edge player there, and a little bit of line scrimmage, you got to give those guys credit. They got all blocks, and all that. So it's always blocking, but when we've had good running games, it's not just been the line of scrimmage; it's been perimeter players.
Right.
So again, when you're running it or throwing it, you're playing with 11 guys. If you're doing it well, when you're not doing it well, you're misfiring. And so maybe the line, but there were some times I thought we broke down on the edge, it tied in. There's some times where, again, like today, where they maybe Trey's ability to run, which Ohio State has with Braxton. So if you want to play one-on-one, we'll throw it to some fast guys. If you want to spread out, we got good blockers and basically a good two-back running game with Carlos and Braxton. So we're building that point. That's the difference between Trey and Nate. But again, when you don't run the ball, so sit and blame the line. Our line's beat up. So what? We've also, a couple weeks ago, we had 300 yards and two guys over 100. So when the line blocks and running backs run hard, I thought Steven ran hard at the end. But early in the game, we didn't run hard. But also, you got to give credit to Ohio State getting off blocks. Shazier, those safeties showing up, those extra hats in the box.
What does Tevin bring to the offense that D'Angelo and Steven may not do as far as running the ball? What does Tevin bring to the offense in the run game that Steven and D'Angelo may not do?
Well, he's just a little bit better as far as suddenness, explosiveness, a little more decisive. Taking 3 and getting you 5, taking 5 and running through a crack, get you 15, 20. The other guys are pretty good, but sometimes you get a little bit more what you block. And a really good back. Sometimes we'll when there's a nickel, he'll get you a dime and a quarter and a little bit more out money for the blocking. So, and we'll see how he goes. He looked a lot better towards the end of the week moving, so we'll see if we get him this week. But at the same time, Steven's played well. D'Angelo, again, has been solid, so we're not void there. Just Tevin is our best player.
Just what made you decide to start D'Angelo today, and just what was sort of your read on how he did?
They both, to me, they're similar, and I think just the week of practice, the way he played last week, but he and Steven and kind of about the same in what they're doing. Steven's not been poor by any means. I think Steven's actually gotten minor, but a little nicked up, where doesn't have maybe the burst or as fresh as he needs to be. So D'Angelo played well last week. He was okay today. None more particularly good.
What were you tell the seniors? You guys obviously had very high hopes at the start of the season.